What's up, everybody? We are going to talk about how to do the next step in our research paper, which is the outline. Okay, so the outline is an organizational tool. Okay, so we're organizing all the stuff that we found, okay, and noted on, and kind of gleaned from our sources. We're curating, really, and that's kind of what research is all about. So when we do this, okay, when we're writing this research paper, when we're doing this outline, we need to make sure to give credit, okay, to those experts. Like, hey, if you want to learn more about this, go see this person, go read this article, okay? That's what all these citations are for. That's why we did the bibliography. That's what all this stuff should start making a little bit of sense why I'm jumping through all these hoops. Okay, so I know it's been kind of like, all right, let's do this, do this, do this, do this. We're not even writing a research paper, man. I thought we were writing a research paper. Okay, so it's a little confusing. Okay, I get that. Right? It's a little bit confusing. I get that, but these baby steps will produce at the end an actual paper that you will write. Okay. So I'm in this outline assignment. Okay, and we decided to split up the outline into two different assignments. So this is just the body paragraphs. Okay, so if you did the notes assignment, where you commented and highlighted on, 4 pieces from each of those sources that we thought was applicable, okay, we thought was important enough according to those samples that we gave you, then you're ready for this. If you haven't, you need to do that first. Okay, you're going to have the notes done before you go to the outline. Okay, so it's step by step, methodically going through all this stuff. This is the next step after your notes. So if you're watching this and you haven't done your notes yet, do your notes. Okay, so I've done my notes, so I'm getting into the outline assignment. Oh, let's do tomorrow. Okay, so watching the video, making sure I've done the previous assignments. Open my 2 linked documents. Well, they're kind of in a weird spot here. So outline format, this is the one that actually gives us kind of the information of what we're doing. This is the directions for this. Okay, so I'll open that up. Excuse me. Okay, so zoom this in so we can see a little bit better. All right, not paying attention to the introduction because we're doing the body paragraphs. Okay, so body paragraph number 1, body paragraph number 2, body paragraph number 3. We're only doing 3 paragraphs for bodies. Okay, but if you notice here, we have already chosen for you the topics. Okay, this is going to work very, very easy for us, okay, to find this information. So we're taking kind of a step out of it for you. Okay, since we're not in the classroom, we're trying to make this a little bit easier than it would be if we're in the classroom, where we can answer questions and do more with that. So origin, what's that mean, Coach Eddie? Origin is where this person came from. So like, did they have a creation story? Like Zeus had a pretty cool origin story, whereas, I don't know, it's cool, it's a little gross, really. Like, so his dad ate all of his other brothers and sisters, except for him. Like, his mom gave him a rock, gave the dad a rock instead of Zeus to swallow. It's really weird. Only mythology can be that weird, right? So he survived and hid out in a cave until he grew up, and then he I guess poisoned his dad into throwing up all of his brothers and sisters, which came out like all grown and like fully clothed and stuff, and fought, and this is a big deal, right? So it's a weird story, and most of these are going to be pretty interesting. But where did your person come from? That's what origin means. Where did they come from? What was the story behind all that? Okay, so fact number 1, we'll get that from our notes. Okay, so we're going to get that from our notes page, and we're going to open those up here in one of the next steps. Okay, job. Okay, so I'm looking, this next paragraph where I'm putting information in is what this person's job was. That's pretty self-explanatory, but some of them have different jobs, right? Maybe they got like 3 or 4 different jobs. If you look at the list, like on what your God was in charge of, a lot of them are in charge of a lot of stuff. Okay, so picking which one is the best and easiest, and maybe the most widely known would be the best thing to do here. So, um, Zeus was in charge of like the sky and stuff, right? But he was also the king of the gods. Okay, so you probably want to have both of those jobs in there, and you can put more than one fact from more than one source in this. Okay, so, and then we've got interesting facts for number 3. All right, so that was just kind of an open-ended topic. So an interesting fact might be something that it doesn't fit quite in the job or origin story. Okay, so maybe you got like Ares or something like that. Something interesting about Ares that I read was he had a throne made out of like skin from like his conquered foes. What? That's gross, right? It's some weird stuff, but that's pretty interesting. Okay, that's something that sets him apart from the rest of these people. Okay, so something that was didn't quite fit in the job category or didn't quite fit in the origin story. That's what we're putting there for interesting fact. Okay, so that's kind of the catch-all. Thing is, I have to use information from each of my 3 sources. Okay, so let's say that I used source number 1 for my job. Well, crap. Well, I still use some of that for interesting fact or anything else, but I need to be able to use something from another source, okay, and then another source to get all 3. This could be the interesting fact place could be what I need to use this source. Let me use it for this one. Okay, so make sure we have all 3 sources listed in these, but there's several different blanks for us to fill in with that. Okay, so that's the instructions. That's what we're kind of looking for in this. So I've got that open. The other file that we're opening is literally what we're going to turn in. And again, this should have your name on it, and we've put it in here underneath where it's your work. Okay, so this is what you'll actually just click turn in on when we're turning this in. Okay, so I've got blanked out. We're only working on the body paragraphs, so this is blacked out. Okay, this is your introduction stuff. So we're not working on that yet. Okay, that comes afterwards. But this is where we're filling in the blank, those things. Okay, so for body paragraph number 1, I'm going to type in there origin. Okay, for body paragraph number 2, I'm going to put job. Body paragraph number 3, I'm going to put interesting. If I can spell facts. Okay, so I've got all that in there, and that's made just for me. So all this stuff is in blanks. Okay, it doesn't have to look super neat and tidy when we're finished with it. No big deal. If you type in the blanks like that, cool. If you want to select before you type, that will erase, if you guys probably figured that out, the blank, and you can actually type in that. Okay, whatever it looks like, we're not looking at, hey, is this spaced correctly? Is this done? We want to see what the outline kind of looks like. Okay, this is kind of a rough draft outline for us. This is for us to organize our information, nothing more. Okay, so this is not like a formal outline, all right? So this is a tool for us. Okay, so I've done those instructions. Now I'm going to open my previous 3 assignments, the notes assignments. Okay, so I'm going to use Classroom to kind of help me out with this. Now, from where I'm at, I'm just going to click back up to the classwork, and I'm going to find that. Okay, so where it says notes, okay, I want the notes assignment. And I only have one of them because I just did one for the previous assignment, and this is my video class. All right. Okay, so I want to open up, okay, the assignment, the thing that I turned in for this. I have to view the assignment to do that. I'm going to click on this. This is what I turned into that. Okay, this is my document, okay, that I turned in that has all my comments and notes and stuff on it. Okay, now and we've run into a few problems with this. If you have not turned this in and you have not gotten it back from your teacher, okay? So let's say, oh, I haven't done my notes yet. I have to go back a step, turn in my notes assignment. Teacher has to send that back to you for you to be able to open this and see the comments. You can still open it, but you can't see the comments if you've turned it in and they haven't submitted it back to you, okay? So give us a little patience if you're turning in late. Trying to get through and getting that back to you as quickly as possible is what we're doing. Okay, but you have to have a little patience with that if you haven't done that yet. Okay, and we're on this first source, second source, third source. Okay, hopefully those are all returned to you by the time you're doing this assignment. But I can see this with my comments. Okay, so I've got it open now. I would have to do that for each assignment. I want to open up all three of them. Okay, the source website 1, the source website 2, and then the source encyclopedia. Okay, where I've written my notes on that. All right. So once I've got those open, okay, I'm going to go back actually to the outline assignment. Okay, I've got that open. I'm going to copy from my notes documents the highlighted material on what I commented on. Okay, so had a little confusion on those two. Okay, so what I did to comment on this stuff is I selected, like with my mouse or with my keyboard, and then I commented over here, okay, on what I'm using that for, maybe what letter it was. We used all this stuff, okay, to find information about this, all right? So Zeus was king of the gods and king of the sky, weather, law, order, destiny, fate, and kingship. That's a lot of stuff, right? All right, that's what my figure's job was and what he represented. This is what I want, okay, this is what I want to do probably for his job. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm literally just going to copy, and remember, Command-C does that for me. Okay, and then I'm going to go back to my outline that I'm turning in. Okay, so this fits really well, okay, in my jobs, and that's a fact. Okay, that's a fact. So what I'm going to do here is just go down to this line, and I'm going to paste that. Okay, again, it looks kind of messy. That's cool. It's whatever. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, but there's something else. There's another step to this. Okay, I need to show where that came from. Okay, so I'm showing where this person's stuff came from. Okay, so on that source, there's a reason why we did all this stuff, right? Okay, the thing that I'm looking for, okay, is the author's last name. That's what I'm going to put in those parentheses, right? So there's a reason why we went step by step and did all this stuff, okay, in order. All I have to do now is go up here. The first thing that pops up. So let's say I don't have my author's name. It's going to be the first thing that I do have here. Okay, so say the source doesn't have an author's last name here. It's not Atzma. The first thing that sticks out is Zeus. Put Zeus. It's okay. It's the first piece of bibliographical information, okay, up to the first punctuation mark. Okay, so whatever it is that sticks out first, okay, in this order, that's what we put. Most of us it's going to be our author's last name. Okay, so I'm going to take that. That's where I got this from. And I'm going to highlight this, Command V. There we go, Atzma. So this is showing what I got and then where I got it from. Now, I took this directly from a source, so I'm going to make sure I've got quotation marks around it. Okay, it's a good practice. Okay, it's good practice to do. Okay, if I am paraphrasing, now if you wonder what paraphrasing is, okay, paraphrasing is where I put it in my own words. I still need to quote, okay, my paraphrases. right? I still need to give where I got that information from if I'm putting it in my own words. Okay, so in my own words is what I would take this from here. Okay, Zeus was the king of the gods in the sky. I don't know if I'd put that in my own words if that would do any better, right? But if I want to cut something out, if I want to sum something up, something long in my own words, okay, I can type that in there, but I still need to use this and show where I got that from. Okay, I want to follow those same processes to do the rest of this. Okay, so I'm going to do that for all of those blanks. I want to fill all those blanks in. All right, so I got that from one of my sources. And remember, for the sample, I only have one source. Okay, but your three sources, you want to fill in all that information using all those three. Okay, so I find my notes. I mean, maybe, okay, maybe I didn't find enough stuff, okay, on my notes. Maybe you can still, okay, you can still pick something else. Like maybe I didn't find anything about a job or interesting. Maybe I found a bunch of different information. Okay, I might have to go back to my source and read it again and then find something better that fits in those categories. Okay, that's okay. If you do that, cool. But just remember, make sure that you have the citation on there, and that's that author's last name or whatever sticks out first, okay, up in the top of that source document. All right. So I pasted all that stuff on the notes, and I'm following directions. I want to make this look, okay, like this. Okay, so this is a quote or paraphrase from one of your three sources. Did that. Okay, follow it with my parenthetical citation. That's just a big way of saying I'm putting in parentheses the author's last name. Okay, then I want to have some commentary on that. I kind of did that here. Okay. So commentary about the sources, I'm kind of summing up what it is that I talked about. Okay, so we have information. Okay, I want to be able to kind of make that make sense. That's my rationale sentence. It's that make it make sense sentence. Okay. So if I read something that's really confusing, okay, or I think it might be confusing, how would I make that make sense? Okay, so I'm taking a fact, I'm taking something. How does that tie in, okay, to this? Okay, I tie everything back up into how does this fit into being his job? Okay, so that's what I'm doing there for commentary. Okay, and I'm going to follow the same steps for the second fact. Okay, and that. All right. So for my topic sentence, this is kind of the representation of my topic sentence. Okay, so this is my topic. The topic has to be in my topic sentence. I might even include like, but this was not his only job. Okay, something to include all the information that I have there. And I'm weird. I like to put this stuff in before I actually write my topic sentence. That's kind of what we're doing with our body paragraphs too. Okay, we're doing these body paragraphs so that we'll know how to write my thesis. Okay, what's that all that stuff that I'm going to use to fit, okay, in there, right? So I wrote my topic sentence. Now my closing sentence kind of works the same way, okay, as an introduction conclusion, okay, is what I'm doing for topic sentence here. I want to kind of sum up everything that I've talked about here. Okay, so when I say sum up, okay, I'm going to summarize shortly, okay, what I talked about in all this. This is going to be different for everyone. Okay, so depending on what your information is that you put in here, okay, this is my final commentary, okay, on this. But I also want to try to transition, okay, into the next thing. So I want to leave it open ending. I don't want to close the door completely, okay, on this, but I do want to close the thought of his job or the thought of his origin or the thought of interesting facts. So I want to relate one more time that this is what I've been talking about this whole time. Something very, very simple. Okay, that's super simple. Hopefully yours will be a little bit better than that. I'm just writing this off the cuff. Okay, but Zeus had many interesting things he was in charge of. So I just said, okay? The same thing, but a little bit different, okay? And I might want to, instead of this, I might want to actually include, okay, some of the facts, but I'm lacking some of that because I don't have all my sources. I only have one here. I'm just doing this as kind of an example. Okay, so once I've written all these different facts, that'll give me a better idea of what I'm summing up. Okay, but this is something really, really simple. And here's the cool thing about writing. Okay, this is like the rough draft. Okay, if it doesn't look perfect right here, cool. Okay, that's a good thing. Like, we can fix it and add to it as we go on. Okay, so topic, sentence, commentary, closing sentences, that's your relationship to the information that you're putting into this. That can change. That can get better. Hopefully you do change it. Hopefully it does get better as we go. So this is where we're curating our information. We're kind of putting it where it fits in all this. Okay, and we'll worry about all the flowery transitions and all that kind of stuff a little bit later. Okay, but this gives you an idea of what we're doing in our paragraphs. Okay, so we'll follow those same steps, okay, throughout all these. So we'll just copy and paste. Okay, copy and paste those things that fit. If you don't have something that fit the job or fit the origin or something like that, find one, okay, and label it in your notes, and then do that same process, okay, here. And this is where, so doing that from each source. Once I'm done, okay, follow the directions, the outline, format, document, do what it says in the commentary, paraphrasing, and direct quotation. Don't forget the citation. It's important. That's where there's a reason that's in all caps. Okay, now once I'm done with all that, turn it in. Okay, this one, remember, it's a lot easier because it's already done for you. It's already got your name on it. Okay, I click that turn in button. Cool. Okay, and again, teacher sees that. However we comment on it, however we do. Try to, if you have something in there, if there's not a grade, okay, if there's not a grade, that means that you did something wrong, and we want you to fix it. Okay, if you've got 25 out of 25 points, that's a thumbs up. That's good job. That's I'm going on to the next thing. If you guys have questions, comments, any of those things, remember, I'll put our email addresses here at the end of the video. Send us an email. And again, it might not be like right that second. Okay, we're available during school hours, and then a little bit after. I know some of us are doing Zoom meetings and Google Hangout meetings and all that kind of stuff, to help you guys out with things too. But don't hesitate to reach out and ask those questions. You can comment on the assignments. You guys have kind of started figuring this stuff out by now, and hopefully that's a way that you're taking advantage of communicating with us on what you don't understand. Okay, but if you don't understand something, we can't help you if we don't know you don't understand. Okay, so reach out, communicate, do the best you can. Okay, do the best you can on this stuff, and go Zebras.